Hi everyone, welcome to the Pie of Genius podcast. My name is Jeff. I'm a business and executive coach. And one of the ways that I help leaders and managers and business owners really amplify their impact is to give them an opportunity to share their story. And I always find it fascinating when you get to hear not just what someone does, but the story and the people behind it. And I'm sure that you will too. So welcome to this episode. I hope you enjoy it. And if you do, please subscribe and share it with your friends. All right, guys, enjoy the episode.
Hi everyone, I'm in downtown Friday Harbor at Vic's DriveIn, and they've been here since, what's the beginning year?
1958.
1958. This is Theresa and Brian, and I'm just gonna let them share with you kind of a little bit about what they do. And here we go. So what's the first question is, just tell us a little bit about Vic's and what you guys offer.
Well, Vic's Drive-In, as you mentioned, has been here since 1958. We're probably, as far as we can figure, the seventh owners of the property. It's been through a number of iterations, but basically we serve food fast that's cooked to order, mostly to locals. And when you consider that for probably the first 50 years of this restaurant's existence on this island, the year-round population was less than 3,000 people.
Oh, wow.
The fact that this restaurant is the oldest operational restaurant in the San Juan Islands is something else.
Yeah.
It's a testament to the legacy of Vic's.
Of Vic's.
And how Vic's being locally supported is, and the legacy means that families come for generations and they come back to share it with the next generation, and they have memories from their time spent here. So it's a special place.
Yeah. So with the special place thing in mind, can you think of a specific story on how you've either made someone's day, made someone smile as they came in the door, ordered food, something that happened here?
Absolutely. So a few years ago, there was a massive power outage on the island, and nobody had any power, and it was the middle of winter. I believe it was January.
Yeah, I think
And
that, yeah.
so it was quite cold outside, and so being small, locally family owned and operated, we don't have a lot of hurdles to pivot to make something happen. So we got here that day, met with the team, and we decided that we would set up outside. So we took our grill outside, all of our deli equipment. Somebody from the community lent us a generator, and we had a tent out with lights, and we served the community from, I think it was 1 o'clock in the afternoon till about 9 o'clock at night, and there was 45-minute wait times for a cheeseburger.
For a cheeseburger.
So
wow.
we obviously had a very simplified menu,
Yeah,
but
right.
it provided a gathering place for the community to go. It provided a necessary function as people needed to eat, and they got the ability to do it at home. And so it was great to see the community out that day and to be able to interact with them and to provide that service to them.
And one thing really unique about Vic's is because it's so largely locally supported in terms of the dollars that are spent here, we do not have to spend 10% of our budget on marketing. We can find other creative ways to spend that money. And that can either be through gifts and giveaways to students during the school year, or contributions of gift certificates to other businesses. But Vic's, when it was founded in 1958, was seeded as a community-sourced restaurant in 1958. The people who owned Herb's Restaurant, or Herb's Tavern, didn't want to do food service. And so they gave Vic and Marge, who lived next door in a property that's now KeyBank, took that money and with a bunch of community members constructed the original 12 by 12 building, and then opened and started selling hamburgers. And then all of the additions since have pretty much been community builds as well. So the business was, seeded by community members and then built out by community members. And then over the course of 65 years, regardless of who the ownership group is, to varying degrees, continually supported by the community. So we are truly stewards of an anomaly, and we know it.
Yeah.
We get the honor of carrying on the Vic's legacy.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, a lot has happened inside of this space with the community, and
Absolutely.
Student. I remember back when there's students at school, they're back there doing stuff, or coming home from games, or all that kind of thing. So
And students, people walk in all the time, people that we don't know that predate our ownership that are in their 30s with their wives or girlfriends or families, and they'll walk in the door and they'll find their name on the wall where the kids have all measured themselves over the decades. Right. And they'll be showing whoever it is that they're with, oh look, this is me, you know, and it's this kid 15, 20 years ago on the wall. It's just a remarkable thing to sit back and kind of watch happen day after day after day.
Yeah.
It's special.
A lot of community history.
Tons.
Absolutely.
Really cool.
Tons.
So is there something you'd like to highlight that further people can hear about what's going on now, or something you want to make fun of?
So I think that one of the things that we'd like to highlight is just what VIX does on a daily basis. And so our whole mission statement is to provide fresh, quality food at a value. That's our niche in the market here. And so we get all of our vegetables shipped in from local Pacific Northwest farms, and we slice and chop them daily. So, and your burgers are from a farm in Oregon, and we use a 1/5 pound as opposed to like a 1/4 pound because we prefer a patty that's all beef and not filled with fillers. And our milkshakes are made with a high quality dairy product, not a mixed powder. And so everything we try and do is about providing the freshest food at the best value to our guests that come here.
And that makes that unique and able for VIX to execute versus a lot of other restaurants on the island is the volume, the regularity, the familiarity, is the fact that we can roll through things because we kind of know what we're going to do every day when we open the door in terms of volume. So in terms of projecting numbers or forecasting or rotating inventory, we've got a really tight grasp on that. Theresa has just got that dialed in, and Miranda in terms of prep. So we're constantly moving through fresh product. We don't have anything that sits around for any period of time. So it's kind of cool because once you've recognized how that works and you can apply it to this scale, you know, because this community is smaller, you know, we're not doing $20,000 a day, right? The scale is a huge part of it, and that's why Theresa and I, as owner-operators, actually really enjoy coming in every day, even though our previous careers had us doing things much grander than this. But it's that fun that comes from having a system that's 65 years old and is self-replicating that you just plug into every day, and you do, and you know so well that you can do it while having a good time and interacting with guests who happen to be your neighbors or you know, law enforcement or the assessor or you know, students or whatever it may be. And so it's a just completely unique situation that as owner-operators, we can just kind of smile every day because it is a hoot.
Yeah, and I think the other thing with that is that tying into the legacy thing of this, you know, we're we think, seventh set of owners here, and each ownership has built upon it and refined the process each and every day. So like Brian said, we just plug and play, and we refine it and refine it. And but one of the really cool things, which I think a fair number of people know, but we still use the same recipes from 1958. So the same tartar sauce, the same burger
which are all
sauce,
made in-house.
And those are all made in-house. And so it's kind of continuing on that tradition that VIX has. And you know, many people will recall Gloria's potato salad and how that was handmade and batched daily. So we don't do potato salad because
we're not a driftwood drive-in anymore.
No, but tastes have changed over the years, right? So we do all of our specialty sauces, we do our specialty burgers and specials and limited time things that we offer, and all of those are made with the same care that was started with in 1965, and we're still able to carry on that tradition. And I think that's what sets our burgers apart from other people's burgers, is that there's history in there.
And operationally that history has served us well, especially when the pandemic hit to now, because VIX was opened in 1958 during a recession. And so in many, many ways, it is truly recession proof. So if you just look at the model that existed and how it survived over the years, it's a textbook lesson in efficiency, in operational replication, in food cost containment, that because the overhead of operating in Friday Harbor is so high, but Vic's operational standards are so tight, we can do with 3 people what other restaurants may have to have 5 or 6, maybe 7 on board to do. And so we might miss out on the alcohol revenue, but we make up for it in the efficiencies and what we can clear, which we can pass on to people in terms of keeping the prices as low as we can. So, which is another part of the not having to spend money on a marketing budget. Part of that actually is eaten up by margin.
So you said something earlier that kind of stuck with me. I want to ask you about this. You said it's food fast, and not as opposed to fast food.
Correct.
So, when I first moved here, I think someone said like the closest thing that there would be to fast food was Vic's.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Correct.
You know, in the whole scheme of thing of what's here, it's
Absolutely.
Right. So I'm intrigued when you said food fast. How do you see the distinction between what you're providing as food fast versus fast food?
Yes, so fast food is generally defined as food that is mass produced in a central location and then shipped to a restaurant and then heated, right? So it's a lot of assembly. Nobody's actually cooking your burgers at some of these national chains.
It's a heat and eat situation.
It's a heat and eat situation, right? So they are cooking your French fries, but in the scale of things, right? It's the type of food and the production of the food and then the preparation of the food. So for us here, we can, if there's nothing on the line and you come in and you ask for a burger, and it doesn't really matter which burger, I know for a fact from the point you ask me how long it'll be till I'm putting it in your hands, it's just under 5.5 minutes. And that's because we understand what our processes are and how that works. But everything is fresh cooked. So you're getting a fresh cooked beef patty, you're getting fresh sliced tomatoes and onions and the pickles and etc. The whole ingredients and the sauce is prepared in-house. And so it's cooked hot. And then we deliver it to you. So we can provide the same label of food, a burger, we just do it fast, you know?
We can do operationally in the same amount of time that McDonald's or Burger King or somebody could reheat a subpar product and package it and serve it to you. We can cook to order the same menu item, although we stack ours with vegetables fresh and whatnot. So the process is different. It's, do you want to pay somebody else to manage your food cooking, or do you want to do the food cooking yourself? And we have the benefit here of being able to do the food cooking ourselves. So people who dine at Vic's for the first time are often kind of surprised at what they're getting in versus what their expectation was when they walked in the door. Right? We're not doing gourmet, hand patted burgers, but we do a really quality burger, and we do it consistently, pretty much day in and day out, every day that we're able to open. And we do it for what is really the lowest margin in the industry on the island, because we can. And that's necessary for us to keep the doors open. So we're always at the low end of the margin. But in terms of productivity and production, the people of the island get back from that again, because they get a cooked to order meal that comes out pretty hot, and when it's not, it's on us and we fix it. But that's consistent every time. And the flip side of that is they also get about 90% of the orders that come through are modified in some regard. Right? So it's very few things come through as standards, It's just like, I don't want this or some that. And that's something that other restaurants charge for as a process, plus the product that you're adding. We have to charge if you want to add bacon. I have to charge you. But I'm not charging you a 50-cent add-on fee or substitute fee or any of these things. We're just, here's the product, great, and there it goes. And so that it's a really interesting thing, because we're not necessarily quick serve, we're not fast food, we're not a heat meat at all. We're literally cooked to order. It's just that we can do it really fast. So Theresa's statement that we're food fast
Yeah.
is really kind of this weird thing that applies to a few places that we've seen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so just talk with you guys, I get the sense that you really do enjoy your jobs.
Oh, love it.
That you enjoy running Vicks, you
Mm-hmm.
enjoy interacting with the people.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it, I'll ask each of you, I'll start with you first.
Sure.
So what is one thing you really love about owning this business and the job you do here?
Connections. So every day I work out in the front, and
Yep.
so I'm primarily the person that interacts with people, and it's the tiny connections that you make every day. So when you ask someone, how are you? Sometimes you get the standard answer, oh, I'm good.
fine. Yeah.
But other times people open up and they share a bit about themselves with you.
Yeah.
And it's an honor to be on that receiving end of that, because to me that says that they trust you as a business to come into, to hold that moment
Yeah.
with them. Now, whatever that moment is, right? You
Right.
know, so there's a variety of incidents. We're having a baby. My favorite one actually with the baby one is a gentleman came in and he asked how long the food would be, and because we had a little bit of line, and I said X amount of time, and he goes, okay, great, fantastic. We're on the way to the ferry to go to Anacortes to have a baby. And I just thought that was so cool that, they have it timed out, and, whether it resonates with them down the road or not, they stopped at Vic's on their way to have a baby. I mean, that's pretty darn cool if you ask me.
And to share that with you,
Exactly.
it does take, you're not gonna, back to the McDonald's, no
Right.
one's sharing it with a person.
No.
That's not gonna happen.
Exactly.
This is a local place, or,
Mhm.
they would, I'm not sure, well, they must have lived from here, they were from here, I assume.
Yes, they were
Yeah,
from
local,
here.
a local, that's what they're doing, and so they
Mhm.
told you, and, hey, we're all excited, and be
Yeah.
excited with us.
Exactly. And then, things like when kids come in and they have really great report cards, and
Yeah.
so their families are all excited, or things when tragedy strikes them,
Right. They share
they share
that.
that, and so the question, how are you today? It's our way of reaching out to our guests and letting them know that we do care about them, and when people share that with us, a connection is built, and it's a very special thing.
That's cool.
It
I
is
like
a
to be
community
right.
place. Oh man, for me, since Theresa touched on that, I'll go with something in a completely other direction. We do a lot of things. Vic's is not the only thing that we do, and some of them are really, kind of out there. But for me, since Theresa talked about the connections, it's a huge part of what drives us. Like when we were closed during the pandemic, it was because we didn't want to connect with people. We needed to disconnect from people. But it's all good. It's all water under the bridge. But for me, coming in every day is an opportunity for me to be me, which is a really kind of weird, out there, creative, expressive, conservative ball of mess. But I get to dream every day.
Yeah.
I get to play with food recipes. I get to invent new sauces. I get to come up with slogans that the corporate world won't let me use. I get to conceive booths for offsite events.
Right, yeah.
I get to conceive. It's a lot of really creative work for me while I'm doing the redundancy. Theresa, Miranda, and I, and Sammy, and now Meadow and Lila come in every day, and we stand in our spot and we turn in a circle.
Yeah.
And it's like one of those spirograph things that you drew with as a kid, and at the end of the day we look at our piece of art and go, that was cool.
That was great.
It kind of looks like yesterday's, but that's all right, There's a little more blue in this one, so that's cool.
Right.
But we all kind of do our thing, but because of that familiarity, we talk a lot too. So we talk about, we take an annual trip as a team every year to Disney World or Disneyland. And so we get to talk for 9 months planning about this and how we're going to do this and where we want to stay and these things. And so I get to kind of dream every day about whether it's a new building for us to work out of, or a booth that we want to do at the fair that would, top the last one we did, or whether it's something we're doing with the port that's just, one of a kind, which we've done so many times with them. That's the stuff that just, like, for me, is just every day I can't get enough of it, and Vic's really gives me an opportunity to do that, because it's constantly telling us that something needs to be done with something else, so we can do that. We can help.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I've really enjoyed this conversation with you guys. Just hearing your passion for what you do, the connections, and I think that idea that you're back there cooking, but since you're doing it's sort of a repetitive thing, it allows your brain to kind of go off. You can still have conversations. It's not like you're so focused on brain surgery or something, right?
Exactly.
You can't be like talking, having a conversation, and connecting with people when you're doing that, but it allows you to have that energy in the space, and that's so cool.
It does, and the system itself allows us to kind of treat everybody equally because we don't really have time to know exactly who people are. And so we just know them by what they order, or whether they come in grumpy often, or whether they come in smiling often, or whether they're going to sneak out the back door with my toilet paper. Right. But we kind of don't have time for any of that outside of that. So it's a really cool spot to just kind of be in every day and have this kind of neutral environment where everybody's welcome, everybody is comfortable, everybody's wanted, and you're ordering food, we're selling it, and we get to have conversations and talk and dream and scheme. It's awesome.
That is exciting. Well, thank you guys for being on the podcast. I've enjoyed listening to your story. So feel free to come on down to Vic's. What are your hours, by the way?
Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. with last orders in by 6:45 p.m. And we are located at 25 2nd Street South in Friday Harbor in the beautiful San Juan Islands.
Yeah, there you go. And so come on down, get a burger, milkshake, whatever else is. Their menu's over there. I can't quite see it right now. So until next time, this is Pie of Genius. You guys have a great day. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.